what worked really well for me is I approach everything, and I can go into, if it's helpful, I can go into my strategy, but it gets like really nerdy really fast. So I'm like a very organized. I approach everything like a sale. Like everything in life to me is a sale. Like if I order a piece of furniture, it's like a sale. Like I'm trying to figure out like where I can discount you. So that's like my whole life. So with interviewing, the way I approach it is before I even like start talking to companies, what I did was I made a target list, and it was like, initially like 100 companies. Then I filtered it down to 50. Then I made my top 20. And then I basically made my own like CRM system, which I was telling somebody else about this recently, and I don't like the way that I did it. I would have done it in Excel or through another organization method if I could. I did it through the notes section on my phone, and it was a like 20-page note by the end of my process. So I did basically a list, and I broke it down by stage. So like ones that I had reached out to, but I hadn't heard back from. Ones that I had reached out to where I was waiting for a response, or they made a connection point for me, but I'm waiting for the recruiter, someone to reach out to me. Ones where I've scheduled meetings, ones where I'm in the interview process, ones that were no's, I put those at the bottom so I didn't have to see them as often. And then ones where I was awaiting offers, things like that at the top. So like I had it broken down like that. But that was super helpful, because what I noticed was once I started to talk to companies, it got a little confusing at times of who I'd reached out to and done different things. So I think like an organization system helps a lot. But once I had that top 20, I went through and my first pass was me trying to go through my network. So like whoever I know at those companies, mainly like leadership. And one of the interesting things I did too is I attended, like we have a sales assembly here based in Chicago, and there's a lot of sales leaders that either speak for those events or attend those events. So I kind of attended a lot of those over, a month to 2 period. And then I paid attention to either who was on those events or who was speaking. And so I actually got some meetings that way too, where I followed along. And you could do the same thing with any, person on the revenue side of the house. Like if you look through their LinkedIn feed and they have like an event coming up, it was a really quick way to get in the door, because I could say like, here's 3 takeaways I had from your event. I don't know if you'd be open to it, but I'd like to set up a conversation just to get to know you a little bit better, hear more about your story. And then you can either add in there that you are looking, or kind of softly add that in at the end of the conversation, and just try to make like a really good impact when you do get that call.